evening, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel, the Arsenal Transfer Room live. It is a Monday. There is plenty to talk about, and I hope you're all doing very well. There's loads of you here, which we love to see. Before we get into it, of course, I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you're not already. The support, I mean, yesterday's video, unbelievable. Like 500 new subscribers off the back of that. Incredibly grateful. We keep going. And if you could like the video as well on your way in, that would be absolutely sensational, and I would be very grateful. Hyper protagonist Steve, Ethan Udall, Fraser, Francisco Oliveira, Brandon Simon, George Max Evans, Hugo Page, Wills, George, Fizzy, Lukey, Toby, Leah Nesbitt, Guna, Oslo Guna, Adrian, Isak. It is good to see you all. I hope you're doing well. Not apologies. I said that there's no real schedule, although I am trying to stick to like 4:30. I think that's a good time. We're live at 3:30 today. I'm going to see a friend after this, have a couple of drinks. Not seen him in a long time, so had to move it an hour early. No major breaking news to talk about today. There is panic at the disco when it comes to Martin Zubimendi, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Leroy Sane. We're going to talk about Alejandro Garnacho, much as I would rather not. And any questions that you've got, as always, we will answer. Francisco Oliveira, congratulations. Portugal. Nations League winners. Cristiano Ronaldo, can he win a World Cup? Well, I'd like to see it. If England can't do it, I would like to see Cristiano Ronaldo win the World Cup. Zubi, where are you? Yeah, where are you? Where are you? Let's be having you. Are we talking about Kepa? We can talk about Kepa, yeah. Of course, we've, since the last time we went live, we have signed or are going to sign Kepa Arrizabalaga. I don't think there's a huge amount to talk about when it comes to him. I think some of the overreaction to it was wildly unnecessary. I thought it was quite incredible the way that somehow Arsenal were meant to be the fools in that situation. Arsenal were the ones being laughed at in that situation, which kind of just goes to show you there is no point Arsenal doing anything because we will just be mocked for it. Zubi cooked in that game. Yeah, Zubimendi had another very, very impressive game for Spain. I think people are now that everyone obviously thinks he's going to be an Arsenal player, they're perhaps actually watching him play for a good team rather than for that Real Sociedad team of last season. And they are, changing their minds on him, as they should. Hand of Arsenal has to shut down the Zubi rumours every goddamn day. Has he actually, has Hand of Arsenal actually mentioned Zubi today? We will get into this Zubimendi news off the bat. I don't think he has, unless he's replied to someone with some news. No, he hasn't mentioned him today. But ultimately, look, this is why there is panic when it comes to Martin Zubimendi today. And it is all coming from Spain. It is all coming from Spain. In particular, it's coming from a journalist called J. Felix Diaz. And he is claiming that Martin Zubimendi to Arsenal was almost done, but a call from Real Madrid has changed everything. The situation is now open. And that has then been followed up by Marca, who obviously are a Spanish outlet, who do an awful lot of bidding for Real Madrid. They pump out a lot of news that Real Madrid want them to pump out. And they say Real Madrid called Martin Zubimendi's camp in the last hours and asked if the deal with Arsenal is done. The answer was no. Real Madrid seriously want Martin Zubimendi after he told them that the deal with Arsenal isn't done. They now plan to make contact with Real Sociedad. So it's Spanish propaganda. That's what it is. There is not a single credible journalist who has said anything like this. And if you're talking about that guy, J. Felix Diaz, the last time he got involved in a big Arsenal transfer was Declan Rice 2 years ago. And he was the person that came out and said Declan Rice was on the verge of signing for Bayern Munich, which was never the case. Declan Rice was never even remotely close to signing for Bayern Munich, as we know, because Arsenal had been in there from so early. So the guy doesn't have credibility, for starters. But if we go back to what has already been said about Martin Zubimendi, Sami Mokbel, for me, is the clearest cut. And Sami Mokbel is someone that I trust really as much as any journalist. I think he's fantastic. And he said previously, Martin Zubimendi is set for a medical before completing switch to Arsenal. And this is the crucial bit. All relevant paperwork with Real Sociedad has been completed. Announcement pending successful medical. That, to me, seems like they've got into something that they can't particularly get out of. And we heard from Gunnar Blog previously in The Athletic that we're doing Sociedad a bit of a favour by allowing them to wait until July to necessarily put the deal through for their own accounting purposes. Fabrizio Romano has previously said, Arsenal plans for midfield are confirmed after Jorginho's exit. Martin Zubimendi will formally complete his €60 million move soon with the medical and signature. Here we go, confirmed. So he's given the here we go. He's followed it up with confirmations of the here we go. And that is fine. So at this stage, I'm not worried. At this stage, Hand of Arsenal is in the chat. Unbelievable. Hand of Arsenal is in the chat. And here he is. Ignore the noise. Ignore the noise, says Hand of Arsenal. What a goat. What an absolute goat. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not getting too frustrated by the nonsense. The only journalist that has said anything today is Miguel Delaney. And he said the Real Madrid noise about Martin Zubimendi has surprised those at Real Sociedad, who would obviously prefer to sell to Arsenal and still anticipate that that's what will happen. So as it stands, even Real Sociedad have no idea about this interest from Real Madrid. That deserves a like. There you go. Yeah, drop a like for Hand of Arsenal. Drop a like for Hand of Arsenal. The one true Arsenal in the know, as far as I'm concerned. Madrid always magically pops up in every big transfer. Its agent talk to try and get more money. Possibly. But they do. And the thing is, the reason that they pop up in the way that they do is twofold, right? One, they have journalists in Spain and Spanish outlets that will just put out whatever Real Madrid want them to put out, right? The second thing is, there are these massive Madrid aggregators on social media, the Madrid Zone and those things like that, that then amplify it massively. So people just need to calm down. And the hilarious thing is, right, the majority of the people that are getting really worked up about this, and I've seen a couple of them today, right, and they're like, see? By the way, these are people that, like, claim to be Arsenal fans, that are Arsenal fans, right? They're like, see, all these Arsenal fans that thought it was deal done, told you it wasn't, told you were getting too excited, now he's going to go to Madrid. And it's like, okay, first of all, why are you excited about that? Like, why is your first thought, if you genuinely believe that news, to be like see, I'm right? Secondly, often these have been the people that have slandered Zubimendi and said that it's not a good enough signing. So he's gone from being not good enough for Arsenal to suddenly so good that Madrid are going to hijack him. Which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Zubi was really good yesterday in the final. He was. Scored. You can see he can get forward. I really do think he is going to complement Declan Rice immensely. And I think the partnership we're going to see will be very similar to Rice and Jorginho, where actually sometimes Zubimendi will be further forward than Declan Rice. But when he gets the opportunity, of course, Rice can bomb on and Zubi can sit in. And I'm still incredibly excited for the deal. Max, thank you very, very much for the €2.49 super chat. I need that Rodrigo bomber more than oxygen. Yeah, me too. Honestly, Rodrigo is the dream. And obviously there's a couple of rumors floating around about other players that would be hugely disappointing at this stage, having obviously been linked to Rodrigo. But look, we're still waiting to hear on Rodrigo. The Club World Cup is approaching. I think it will be really interesting to see the role that he plays for Madrid at the Club World Cup. I think if he's still just playing off the right-hand side, that's good. If he's not playing at all, that's good. If for whatever reason he was given minutes off the left, that's not ideal. And obviously he's got to have conversations still with Xabi Alonso. Devin, thank you very, very much for being a member for 14 months. Absolute legend. Our daily streams back To an extent. They may not always be daily. I'm not going to go live every time, every day if there's like nothing to talk about. I also want to focus on YouTube videos. So like the video about Sesko yesterday, I want to focus on that as well. Trying to balance up time. Obviously, TikTok is still kind of my full-time actual job. But super chats, memberships, stuff like that massively helps. It's all going back into the channel. Videos like yesterday, I had an editor helping me with that. So being able to pay people to help massively helps as well. So I do massively appreciate anyone that is a member, because it's helping me grow the YouTube channel. And Tony Josic with a $2 Australian super chat. Don't mention tennis in this stream. Yeah, crazy. Twitter is just a magical place. It is a magical place. How good is Carlos Alcaraz, though? If you watch tennis, how good is Carlos Alcaraz? Unbelievable yesterday. I think if we go for Rogers, if Rodrigo doesn't happen. Possibly. Rogers was decent for England, in fairness. The Sesko video was class, really high quality. I appreciate it, Ethan. Thank you very much. I tried. Look, the feedback on it was really good as well. So very happy with that. Nid, good to see you. What's more realistic, Williams or Rodrigo? Part of me thinks Rodrigo, because transfers are all about opportunity. And I don't think the opportunity to sign Nico Williams is that great. Now, one of the major reasons that I felt Rodrigo was on was because I felt he could push for a move away from Real Madrid, right? And perhaps that is what he's doing. It doesn't seem like Nico Williams is going to push for a move away from Bilbao. It really doesn't. He seems happy there. He seems happy in Spain. And I think as long as they can give him a contract he's happy with, I think he would stay there. So that's part of the opportunity gone. The other part is then a release clause. Now, he does have one of those, but he still has to be happy to take the deal, which he might not be. And so, yeah, I almost think, as much as it seems like a much bigger deal to do, Rodrigo almost seems like the easier opportunity, or could be anyway. Carl, thank you very, very much for becoming a member for the first time. A new member, Carl, often in the chat. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, this support goes back into the channel, so that is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. Will we see one area on the preseason tour with the under-21 Euros? It will depend on a lot of things. It will depend on how much he plays at the Euros. Now, I think he will play a lot. Looking at the attacking players that England are taking, I would imagine Waneri plays a fair amount of minutes. The under-21 Euros finishes. Actually, let me bring this up. If England were to get to the final, which is obviously no guarantee, when is the Euros under-21 final? Of course, it kicks off on Wednesday. England's first game is on Thursday, and the final. So the final is the 28th of June. So that's not actually too bad. 28th of June. I think Arsenal's first preseason training sessions are scheduled at the start of July, and then mid-July we'd be going out. So I'd imagine he'd get maybe a 3 or 4 week break. He'd still then be able to join up during preseason. And then that would depend on how much he had played. So, yeah, I don't think it will impact us too much. And then, obviously, Miles Lewis-Skelly is not part of the England under-21s Euros team, which is fantastic. It means he gets the whole summer off. He has played a lot of minutes for his age this season. And yeah, that's it. That's it in terms of Arsenal. Max Dowman obviously is not in the under-21. So yeah, there you go. No way are we getting Garnacho. Well, hopefully not. With Mastantuono joining Real Madrid in August, could this lift the chances of us getting Rodrigo? Yeah, possibly. I think if you're Rodrigo and you're going, I'm not going to get a chance on the left wing. They've just brought in this super talented youngster off the right wing. Do I want to stay here? Hopefully. Leao, though, last night. Leao looked very exciting when he came on last night for Portugal, if you were watching, but I would expect him to. First of all, Spain's right back last night. Who even was Spain's right back last night? It was not It wasn't someone that's I can't remember even the name of him. Who was their right back again last night? Yeah, this Mingueza was their right back that Leao came on against. The thing is, I'd expect him to look that good off the bench. Yeah, Celta Vigo he plays for. I would expect Leao to look that good. Just saw Hand of Arsenal's Twitter. They unpinned the Rodrigo tweet. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So yeah, Leao is an incredibly exciting player. Ball at his feet, like he can do anything. He can create something from nothing. He can cause absolute havoc. He can score goals. My issue with Leao always has been the consistency, the work rate. Are you going to get Leao turning up week in, week out, game in, game out, away at Everton on a Monday night? Are you going to get that Leao from the first minute? And if you're not, which I'm not convinced that you do, then I'm not convinced that you can spend that sort of money on him. That's kind of always been the thing for me holding Leao back. There's no show with Mo today. I think Mo's doing a show tomorrow. He got cooked especially for the Nuno Mendes goal when he went past Yamal and the left back was so out of position. Yeah. Did you remember to mob people? No. I need to. He doesn't defend. We saw it yesterday. My man was just standing there very lazy. Yeah, this is the problem. Noosa needs to come to Arsenal. He's literally playing left wing back for Leipzig. I saw someone said something about Noosa. It was Dr. Right. It was something to do with he failed a medical at Fulham, I think, with something to do with his knee. There was something about Noosa that was he'd failed a medical in the Premier League or something like that. So I'm not sure what the situation is with that. The goal he scored for Norway was unreal against Italy. But yeah, anyway, look, let's get on to the next little bits of news, and then we'll come back to questions. Leroy Sane. Now, I saw this floating around, and I'll be honest, until I actually put it down to do the show, I hadn't actually looked at who the journalist was that was reporting it. Hugo, thank you very, very much just for a 79p sticker. Thank you very, very much for that, Hugo. The support is greatly appreciated. But yeah, the news was this. It was that there were four teams at the table for Leroy Sane if he doesn't stay at Bayern Munich. Fenerbahce offered him the most money. Bayern are still there, but might be rejected. They've offered a contract extension. Galatasaray are trying to negotiate something. And then Arsenal are there and have offered the least in terms of wages, suggesting that Arsenal have made some sort of offer. Now, like I said, in the end, the source is a guy called Bucci Laba, who works for a Nigerian outlet. Now, listen, I'm not disregarding it because it's Nigerian, but there's no apparent links to Germany or Sane or Arsenal or whatever. So I don't know about the source whatsoever. But they claim that if Arsenal were to increase the wage offering, Sane is very achievable, and that Sane is non-negotiable is Champions League football. So yeah, I saw it. I saw that going around before I'd kind of looked at the source for it. So that's where that's come from. If you hear that Arsenal have made an offer for Leroy Sane. Toby, thank you very much for the $2 Australian. Love the streams, but please, no tennis. No, look, we're not going to talk about tennis. We're not going to talk. Although, no, we're not going to talk about tennis. We're not going to talk about tennis. But yeah, so that's the Leroy Sane thing. Ben Brown has sent a 99p super sticker. Ben, thank you very, very much for the support. You'll love to see it. 29 likes with 400 of us here is crazy. Hit the like button. Surely more than 27 of you have clicked like. Surely. If you've not, Emily, yo, good to see you. If you've not clicked the like button, it's free. It's just down here. Look, there's a little thumbs up, and if you just tap it, then that would be absolutely sensational. Thank you very much. Rory, just a suggestion. If you can pin the Discord and Twitch links in the chat, it would be great. Is there a way of doing that? By the way, if you do want to join the Discord has heated up a little bit recently. More people in it, more of you lot in it, having good Arsenal conversations. The Discord is linked in the description down below. So you can go and join that and chat to people about Arsenal. Rohan, thank you very, very much for the 179 money. Love your work, Rory. Keep it up. Rohan, thank you very, very much. And apologies that I don't know what that currency is, but it's money. And it's going to go back into the channel. So thank you very much for that. Now on to the Garnacho interest. Now this came from a guy called Gaston Edel, who apparently is a tier 1 source. He's got 1 million followers on Twitter. And it was Doc who called him, Kartik who called him a tier 1. And I trust his tier systems. So apparently he is a very credible source. And according to him, the 2 Premier League clubs that are showing the most interest in Garnacho are Chelsea and then Arsenal. Now, he did specify Chelsea are showing the most interest, and then it's Arsenal. Not for me. Not for me, to be honest with you. I don't think Garnacho is as bad as some people make out, right? I think at times he looks very good. At times he looks all right. He's been playing in a very dysfunctional, poor Manchester United team. I felt like when he came on in the Europa League final, for example, like he added something to that. But he's not better than Trossard and he's not better than Martinelli. And he would cost us 60 million quid. There or thereabouts. Maybe 40 million they're now saying. I think the relationship is so bad between him and United now, a team will probably get him at a cut price. But for any sort of money, I don't get it. I just wouldn't get it, to be honest with you. I'd rather keep Martinelli. I'd rather keep Leandro Trossard. He's 20, turning 21. So maybe there is room for growth there. But we just don't need him. Ross says, Garnacho, good player, but he is mostly a potshot player. Not for me. Yeah, and Ethan has said his brother's social media posts are enough to say no to the deal. This is the main thing for me. His brother is a real problem, like a real problem. And I think his brother's influence on him makes his attitude worse. His brother, it's almost like his brother wants to convince him and the world that Garnacho is a world beater, is world class, could play for anyone, should start for anyone. And that's a really bad influence to have around you. And the stuff that his brother puts on social media is embarrassing. And so, yeah, I don't think he's gonna come. And I'd be massively surprised if Arteta was interested in him, to be honest with you. I would be massively surprised. So it's there. I mean, I'd far rather he went to Chelsea. I really would far rather he went to Chelsea. Or just end up being at Manchester United. You know, he's a player that they're desperate to get rid of. It's pure profit for them. So we'll wait and see. Saw something about Lazio declining an offer for Nuno from Saudi. Yes, annoyingly, actually. So we sold Nuno for about 8 million, I think it was, to Lazio, which means we've pretty much, including the sale and loan fees, if we got them, I can't remember. We've pretty much cleaned our face, wiped our face, whatever it is, with Nuno. We're not going to lose money on him. However, in the deal that we sold him to Lazio, we do have a 35% sell-on clause, reportedly, which is obviously a lot, a 35% sell-on clause. And supposedly, Al Hilal offered 30 million euros for him. Now, the way that it works with a sell-on clause usually is that you take a percentage of the profit that the club makes, not the total sale value. So if Lazio paid 10 million euros to Arsenal for Nuno and they sold him for 30 million euros, the profit on that is 20 million euros and they'd owe us 35% of that, which is whatever that is, 7 million, right? So they'd owe us 7 million euros, which would then mean we had made a comfortable profit on Nuno. The issue is they know that. And so if they sell him for 30 million euros, obviously they've made 20 million euros in profit, but then they owe us 7, means they've made 13 million euros in profit. Now, that's not bad for basically doing nothing. You buy him and then sell him in the same window. You just generate 13 million euros. That's not bad. But it didn't happen. And now, I believe this afternoon, Al Hilal have agreed a deal to sign Angelino from Roma, I think, for like 20 million euros. So I would assume that if he's going to Al Hilal, Angelino, as a left back, that means Nuno Tavares is not going to happen. So there we go. Breaking, Manchester United have made an initial approach for Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres through intermediaries. United are exploring the conditions of a potential deal. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that happens now, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens. I think it all looks like Benjamin Sesko to Arsenal. And if it does, I mean, who else really goes for Gyökeres? Naturally, Manchester United makes sense in terms of the Ruben Amorim link. The Rasmus Højlund is their striker. The only thing holding them back, I suppose, is money. But if he's not going to go to Chelsea, where else does he go for the big move that he wants to get? Al Hilal should come for Zinchenko. I saw someone suggest that Arsenal had offered, or Arsenal had suggested Zinchenko to AC Milan if AC Milan sell Theo Hernandez. But again, it's Al Hilal. No, sorry. Yeah, Zinchenko to Milan if Theo Hernandez goes from Milan to Al Hilal. But again, if they've just done Angelino, that would seem like that's their left back sorted. So a Saudi team want Nunez. It's a shame we can't get another big offer for Trossard. You don't know. Well, yeah. We don't know for sure that there won't be a big offer there for Trossard. I feel like there could have been a big offer there for Gabriel Jesus. If Gabriel Jesus hadn't done his ACL, I feel like that could have been a big move that we made this summer. They do like the Brazilians in the Saudi league. Theo Hernandez is not interested in going Saudi. No. No one is until the money gets offered, and then you think, do you agree with Inzaghi sacking at Inter? Yeah, I think the way it ended, I just think it was inevitable, to be honest. Juve are the only other team other than United where Gyökeres goes, in my opinion. Maybe. If they move on Vlahovic, maybe. I could see that happening. But can they offer the money? The wages, mainly. I don't know. Yeah, to be fair, Inzaghi leaving Inter was already on the cards. The move to Saudi was already on the cards, even before the final. So why are we offering Trossard a new contract? So that we can sell him. We don't want to lose him on a free. Keep him in contract. We're not offering him a new contract. We're offering him, or the last report on Trossard's contract was not a new deal, like a new 4-year deal. It was to take the existing deal, which I think he's got 2 years left on, and pay him more in order to keep him. I think that was what it was. Paul, I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are too. When do you predict we sign Sesko or Gyökeres? Well, supposedly they're going to be meeting again this week, Arsenal and Leipzig. Obviously, the window closes again tomorrow. So unless it happens by tomorrow, which I don't think it will, then the window closes for 6 days and then it reopens again. It wouldn't surprise me if we do it once it reopens. That would not surprise me at all. Because effectively what you can do then, obviously Sesko for a period was going to be going off on international duty. I then think he dropped out of international duty. His camp were concerned about him getting an injury or he already had an injury at the end of the season, like a small one. And his camp were concerned if he went on international duty and it got worse, that would hamper potentially a move in the summer. So I would expect if they can sort everything out between clubs in the next sort of week, and they can sort out medicals and stuff in the next week, Sesko can then sign off, join, and then go on a bit of a holiday before we start pre-season. So I would imagine that would be the plan. Rodrigo, Sesko, Zubi, and Kepa, very good window. That'd be a dream window. If we pulled off Rodrigo, Sesko, Zubimendi, and Kepa, that's big. That's big. And then the only thing you've got to think about then is the midfield. Partey, we don't know what's happening with him still. Sounds like he might sign, but he's aware that he's on the next contract he gets is going to be his last big contract. And if we aren't offering him a big one, maybe he moves. I saw someone link this. It was a Twitter account who gets like little bits of information that he shares from WhatsApp. Suggested that we could be in for that Agume guy, who's a young central midfielder playing in France, I believe. But we'll wait and see on that. Sesko injuries, him to Arsenal confirmed 100%. Yeah, I don't think it was too bad an injury, thankfully. Chelsea really lost so much on Kepa. Oh, this was the thing. This was the thing I couldn't believe yesterday when the Kepa news came out. Was it yesterday or Saturday? Saturday when the Kepa news came out. Like, Chelsea signed Kepa for a record £72 million. By last season, they had spent another 100 million on goalkeepers. He was out on loan at another Premier League club, actually had a really good season at that Premier League club. They are still looking to sign a goalkeeper as their first choice goalkeeper, and they sold him to us for £5 million. And now we have a second choice keeper for £5 million, who's 30 years old. If we wanted to, we will probably be able to sell him for a profit in a couple of years if someone like Carl Hayne or Tommy Setford has developed enough to be the number 2. But we've got a 30-year-old, one of the better keepers in the Premier League last season, loads of experience. Like, yeah, NJB Golf, that's the guy. NJB Golf is the guy. I just don't understand how Arsenal are the ones being mocked in this situation. We have the back-to-back Golden Glove winner in goal already. We now have a backup for £5 million who gets into half of the teams in the Premier League. And Chelsea still don't have a goalkeeper that they trust. So, it's crazy. Arsenal have signed 7 goalkeepers under Arteta, whereas Chelsea have signed 7 in the last 2 years, and yet we get all the hate and Chelsea get a pass. Make it make sense. Yeah, and I've seen Arsenal fans. Do you know what? When it's Chelsea fans that are trying to hype it up or mock it or whatever, I get it, right? They're trying to make themselves feel better. It's the Arsenal fans that I don't get. It's the Arsenal fans go, oh my God, we need a striker and we've signed another keeper. It's £5 million and we needed him. What do you want us to do? And I see people listing off, I see Arsenal fans, we've bought 7 keepers but only 5 attackers. Yeah, but how many of those keepers have we actually bought to start? 2, Ramsdale and David Raya. And in 3 of the 4 seasons where we've had them in goal, they've won the Golden Glove. Like, I'm not sure what people want. And we've actually spent very little money on it, relatively speaking. They fall into the trap, just believe whatever they see. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Our keeper future stays safe with this Kepa deal that we got, the Porter guy and Setford too. Yeah, well, I read a thing recently about how Arsenal really believe that the youth goalkeeper market is really untapped. So goalkeeping or goalkeepers have become much more valuable over the last few years, with top teams needing goalkeepers that are elite with their feet as well as being elite shot stoppers. And when teams like City and Chelsea and stuff are going around scooping up all of the best young talent, goalkeepers seem to get overlooked. And it's something that Arsenal are kind of tapping into. So not bad at all. Imagine we sold Kepa for £5 million. We would be getting mocked for it. Yeah, exactly. You're spot on. Do you think we can get a profit from Kepa in 2 years? Yeah, probably. If we were to try and sell Kepa in 2 years at 32 years old, especially if Arsenal have won some things, he plays relatively well in the odd cup game here or there. He's got the experience. People saw how good he was for Bournemouth last season. I think you could comfortably sell him for, 10. You doubled your money. Wages are the only slight concern, apparently. That's the reason that Bournemouth didn't want to sign him. But I think he was willing to take slightly lower wages at Arsenal to be a number 2 and to obviously still have the ability to win trophies and stuff. Fingers crossed. Kepa's a very good sub. Another Basque as well. Arteta's fetish. We are becoming incredibly Spanish. Like, I know under Wenger, obviously, we started signing plenty of French players. But we are becoming both goalkeepers Spanish. Obviously, you've got Zubimendi coming in. Already got Marino. Do you think Rodrigo has had his meeting with Xabi yet? Not sure. Not sure. I honestly think we'll get a really good understanding of what's happening during the Club World Cup. More than Spanish, Basque. Yeah. Yeah. Basically. Everyone's forgetting Arda Güler and the new guy competing for right wing at Madrid too. Yeah, there's not enough room for all of them. So, and listen, I tell you what, if Rodrigo doesn't go, maybe that convinces Arda Güler to go. Maybe that's something we can look at as well. Big fan of Arda Güler. No disrespect, but I would be very nervous if Karl Hein would play a lot of minutes if Raya got injured. Kepa was a no-brainer. Yeah. Xabi's first training session today. Yeah, I saw a picture of Rodrigo in Real Madrid training today. So I think they've literally just joined up ahead of the Club World Cup. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But obviously any deal for him might take a while anyway, because it won't happen whilst he's playing in the Club World Cup, you wouldn't imagine. Reckon we sell Karl Hein? I would assume so. Well, either because Setford's been called up to the senior squad for next season. So either he's going to go on loan and Karl Hein would be the number 3, but I think Karl Hein's reaching the age where he won't want to be a number 3. So I would imagine we either sell or loan Karl Hein again. How often do you think Max Dowman plays next season? Editor Dion. Dion, legend. Awesome Arsenal fan. Dion is the one that has been helping me with the editing. So credit goes to him. How often do you think Max Dowman plays next season? I think he'll play more than people anticipate. I think he will play in the cup games. And I think we could start seeing him come on as a sub in Premier League games as well. I do. Hand of Arsenal tweet about Zubimendi. There we go. What's he saying? What's old HOA saying? He has said, here we go. That's probably why he unpinned the Rodrigo tweet, because he's pinned this one. Martin Zubimendi, the player, will join Arsenal Football Club. All the relevant paperwork has been exchanged to complete the transfer. This includes very sensitive, legally binding agreements, which is standard occupational practice. There is a tripartite agreement between Arsenal, Real Sociedad, and Martin Zubimendi. Once the Spaniard completes his medical successfully, he will be unveiled. When I took on this role, I clearly understood the privilege of delivering the pure truth, which was placed on my shoulders. Providing the fan base with clarity during uncertain times is not something I take for granted. This post will be pinned, and it will stand the test of time. So there you go. Hand of Arsenal has put his hat on it. Zubimendi to Arsenal will happen. There is nothing to worry about. Thoughts on the appointment of Thomas Frank at Spurs? Very good for them. Very good for them. Can't lie to you. Big fan of Thomas Frank. Think he's a very good manager. I think what he got out of the Brentford team is really impressive, and he will do good work at Tottenham Hotspur. But I still don't think Spurs have the squad to compete, really, even for the top 4 or 5. To be honest with you, but they will not be anywhere near as embarrassing as they were last season in the league. Am I right in saying "here we go" means nothing to worry about? Not completely. Not completely. Fabrizio has given "here we goes" before, and the deal hasn't gone through. But in this case, it's not just Fabrizio. It's Fabrizio. It's actually Sami Mokbel is the one that I'm actually more confident in terms of the way that he worded his post. He has mentioned Zubimendi once, ever, on his social media. And it was for the exclusive that Martin Zubimendi had signed or completed the paperwork ahead of a medical. So, yeah, I'm confident. I really like Thomas Frank. Shame he's not now. It is a shame. Honestly, he's one of my favourite managers in the Premier League. So it is genuinely a shame that he's going to be a Spurs manager. It is. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. I think Brentford will struggle a lot losing Frank and Brian and Mbeumo. Yeah, they will. They might lose Johan Visser as well. I'll tell you who else is going to struggle. West Ham. West Ham are going to struggle big time because unlike, Brentford will get good money from Mbeumo. They'll get a bit of money for Thomas Frank, to be honest with you. And like Bournemouth, right? People think Bournemouth are in a lot of trouble because they're losing Kirkes, Huijsen, Kepa, sounds like Zabanyi as well. They're basically losing the entirety of their back four and keeper. And their defence was a big part of finishing 9th last season. They conceded, I think, the 5th or 6th fewest number of goals. They conceded the same number of goals last season as Nottingham Forest. Everyone was lauding Matt Sells. Everyone was lauding Milenkovic and Murillo and Olaena. They conceded the same number of goals as Bournemouth. And they're going to lose basically everyone that was involved in that. But 50 mil for Kirkes, 50 mil for Huijsen, 60 mil for Zabanyi, 5 mil for Kepa. Actually, no, they don't get the 5 mil for Kepa. That goes to Chelsea. But yeah, they're going to make the money and they can reinvest that money. And Iraola, I think, is a really good manager. So, yeah. I think Bournemouth will be fine. But West Ham have got no money. That's the difference. So, West Ham are really struggling financially. They have made a lot of big signings in recent years that haven't worked out. And really, the only player they can sell for big money, well, they can sell Jarrod Bowen, but I don't think they will. And other than that, it's Mohamed Kudus. Paqueta's obviously got his ongoing issues with the FA. And they haven't really got any other sellable assets. And they're already bad. So I do think West Ham, if I was to pick a team here and now that isn't one of the 3 teams that are coming up from the Championship to go down, if you were to tell me one of the teams coming up from the Championship's actually going to survive this year, if I was to pick one team that was going to go down, at this point, it would probably be West Ham, to be honest with you. Sims knows balls here. Good to see you. Thoughts on Cherki to Man City? Yeah, unbelievable deal. That it will surely be signing of the summer in terms of value for money. I think Ornstein said a 40 million euro package all in, but I think before bonuses and stuff or add-ons, it's 30 million euros. It's unbelievable. It's obscene. So, assuming, and the one thing with Cherki is that there's people talk about attitude problems with him and various things that I've not seen, to be honest with you, and things that I feel like are, I don't know, just made up. Not made up. I don't know. Basically, as long as he has the right attitude, he's going to be unbelievable. He's going to be unbelievable. Paqueta court case finishes in roughly 4 to 6 weeks, apparently. There you go, then. There you go. I suppose we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how that goes. I had Brentford to be near relegation last season, but Mbeumo and Vissa did a miracle. Now it's worth a bet for them to go down. Yeah, actually, I predicted Brentford to do badly last season and got that wrong. Bale money reinvested or Rice money reinvested? Which one was worse? Oh, Rice. Right. Who did they even spend the Rice money on? Kudus, I guess. I mean, to be fair, if they sell Kudus for a big profit, then that's not too bad. Who else did they even buy with that money? Obviously, last summer, everyone thought they'd had a good summer again, and it turned out to be terrible. Who'd they buy? Somerville, Fulkrug, Tadibo, Edson Alvarez. Yeah, it's been pretty rough. It has been pretty rough. I'm not convinced anymore about Graham Potter. I thought Graham Potter was good, but there are 566 people in here. Like the stream. Yeah, please do like the stream. Yeah, a lot of money on Max Kilman. A lot of money on Max Kilman. Thoughts on Arsenal maybe signing Rafael Leao? Yeah, we spoke about him briefly. I like Rafael Leao at times. I think he's an exciting player. I just don't know if he's the right one for us. It's a lot of money as well. Wan-Bissaka was the only good signing they've made. Wan-Bissaka for what was it, 15 mil? Wan-Bissaka for 15 million was genuinely a good signing. I think he won their player of the season last season. But that's the only good signing that they've made, really. When does the Arsenal Red membership open up for next season? I'm not sure. Does anyone know when the Red membership opens? Because obviously, if you were already a Red member, it gets automatically renewed. So mine's automatically renewed for next season. But I don't know. Rory, can you bring back Guess the Gooner and Guess the Non-Gooner, please? No. No. But I do have something. Oh, here it is. Here we go, sports fans. We're not bringing back Guess the Gooner because we did them all. Like, we did every Arsenal player you could think of, right? However, we have this. The Arsenal FC quiz book. So we are going to ask one quiz question per day. First person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So here we go. And by the way, if you're someone that owns this book, no cheating. So here we go. This is it. This is what we're doing. Question number 1. This is it. Fingers on your keyboards because first person to get it right wins. What year was Arsenal founded? What year was Arsenal founded? Now, it's in the book, it's multiple choice. We ain't doing multiple choice. You don't get multiple choice from me. You don't get multiple choice from me. I'll let you get your answers in. Now, I'll tell you this. The multiple choices were A, 1882, B, 1886, or C, 1888. Someone said 2013. Right, who got it first? Who got it first? It was James Bidder. James Bidder got it first. It was indeed 1886. Ross Lawman, Ross, I'm gonna assume that was a typo from you. I'm gonna assume that was a typo, Ross. Second was Carter. Third was Emil. Fourth was Aka. And fifth was Mohammed Ibrahim. There you go. 1886 was when we were founded. It was a typo from Ross. It was a typo from Ross. There we go. That is today's question. That is today's question. I realize the stream speed is different on different devices. It is. It is. You've got to have good internet. You've got to have good internet to win. But there you go. There you go. In future, to be fair, I might still do Guess the Non-Gooner. I just haven't got one prepared for today. And I'm in a bit of a rush. But look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Whoa, Bradley Dooley. $4.99 super chat from Bradley Dooley. Thank you very, very much. New Hand of Arsenal update. Zubi is coming. Yeah, we read that out, Bradley. We did read it out from Hand of Arsenal. The player will join Arsenal Football Club. All the relevant paperwork has been exchanged to complete the transfer. This includes a very sensitive legal binding agreement, which is standard occupational practice. There is I love this word, by the way, tripartite agreement between Arsenal, Sociedad, and Zubimendi. So there we go. But yeah, Bradley Dooley with the buzzer beater that I am incredibly grateful for. As always, massively appreciate the support on the channel. If you can like and subscribe before you jump off, I would be incredibly grateful. Other than that, enjoy your Monday evenings. I'll be back tomorrow either with a stream or a video or both if I'm really feeling it. And yeah, until then, I hope you have a good one and I'll catch you all on the next one. Goodbye.